So I don't believe George as much anymore. And I kind of want to go ahead and explore this entire topic because I feel like this topic requires somebody with a magnifying glass and some Sherlock Holmes skills. And the reason why is because there's a lot of hints that are being dropped both from Logan and George. And I feel like in order for us to really understand where these guys stand, we have to really dig into it. I have my imaginary shovel, so now we're gonna dig some imaginary dirt. Let's go ahead and start off with this video. Obviously, I'm sure you guys know by now this video, but just in case you guys don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of catch you guys up.
I love this outlet and it exists because people watch, and without people watching, I just have a show like so good news also.
I mean, look at Mike's face. Like, he could pinch the bottom of a thermometer and the mercury will go bang. So I don't really know if Logan really dissed George because I can't hear past that sine wave. But it doesn't really matter because George got a hold of the video and he witnessed it, and obviously he didn't jump for joy. Instead, he went on Twitter and ranted. But we're going to get into all of that. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and get into the tweets because I think that the tweets are important. Now, this is the first tweet that he dropped back in April when things were fresh and fit. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the video in a bit, but this is the next tweet that he dropped, which is addressing all the Impulsive fans. You can go ahead and pause the video if you want to go ahead and read all of that. I do want to go ahead and showcase to you guys the comments down below where this guy, Chris Scott, he stated that, mate, you sat there not speaking for 90% of the time. What are we missing? Your silence? And then, of course, George replies with, you think I wanted to be quiet? Which, by the way, that comment from George, it doesn't really seem like much, but there is a lot of meaning behind that comment. All right, so I think you guys are all caught up now. I think that this is the only information that you guys need. Anything else is just more or less fluff. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the first tweet, okay? So remember this tweet? I wasn't going to talk, but now I am. Now, do you guys remember at the beginning of the video, I told you guys that I don't really believe George as much anymore? Well, it's because of what he explains about this tweet.
The reason I didn't want to take it to the internet, I took it to the internet when I said, oh, now I'm going to fucking speak. But to be honest, I just did that to piss him off because like you kept calling me and I was like, all right, fuck it, then I'm going to speak. And then I tweeted it out.
I don't know about you guys, but it makes me feel a bit used and violated. I feel violated right now. And I didn't appreciate that from George because in a way, he's kind of telling us that he weaponizes against Logan Paul. At least that's my interpretation. I could be wrong about that. But another thing is that it feels like he doesn't really consider his audience or even the impulsive audience, how they feel, you know, because when you make a statement like that, it almost makes it seem like you're going to come out with something that a lot of people are going to dislike about their favorite creator. But if that wasn't enough, he also ends up making this statement, which I thought was odd.
It's not fair for me to talk about it and then I can't even express myself because everybody has their own point of view, right? So I could come and sit here and babble, but it's not going to get anything done. Yeah. It's just going to get them upset with me.
So why did you bring it up then? Because I mean, I agree with George, but it's like, bro, I think you're a little too late on saying that because you already made the tweet. It's already out there. So everybody's already like full of curiosity as to what went on. And I think George kind of made his bed and is now laying on it. The thing is that he's laying on the floor and there's no bed. It's just rock hard and it hurts, right? Because now there's a lot of people who are asking questions. They're making videos on you. And then Keemstar, he's like right there on the, he's a shark, you know, and a fishing hook is definitely not going to catch him. So, I mean, as soon as you like make the wrong move and you fall into the tank, he's going to grab you. You know what I mean? Nonetheless, though, he does end up making an interesting point that I kind of want to go over.
But again, the reason, okay, here's another reason why I won't talk shit. Because, dude, my biggest prayer is that it does mend. Why the fuck do you want enemies? I don't want enemies. I don't want my friends to have enemies. There's no reason for it. We could all build together. If I'm going online and I'm trying to encourage this generation of America to stop being divided, how the fuck am I going to go out and try to divide my own home in front of people? It doesn't make sense. So I'm trying my best to do it, and I know I fuck up. I fuck up here, I fuck up there, and they do too. So
yeah, I agree with George. Again, everybody makes mistakes. Logan makes mistakes. George makes mistakes. Logan makes mistakes that most of us will never make. But here's the difference, though. When it comes to being an influencer, I think that you kind of have a narrow path to make a mistake, you know, because of course a lot of people are watching you, and some of those people are going to be influenced based off of the decisions you make. And so when you post those kind of tweets, it gives me the impression that you're attempting to leverage your influence over Logan Paul. The influence kind of favors you at the moment. So if you say anything, Logan Paul could potentially have his arm twisted, if you know what I mean. Damn, man, you're pretty ruthless. But Logan Paul, he kind of dug this hole himself, and I have to say that he did an impressive job, because that hole is pretty deep. He didn't even use a shovel, he used his hands, which, you know, I'm gonna give you a hand. Now, with that being said, do you really think you're gonna be able to mend the relationship after you're tweeting stuff like this, or you're going on this podcast and you're talking about the situation? My dude, if you wanted to mend a relationship, Logan Paul should be sitting across the table from you. It seems to me like you're tempted to talk about it. If I was in your position, I would like to talk about it. But I mean, if you talk about it without Logan being across the table from you, I mean, your next Valentine's Day, like, you're not getting any love from Logan. Now, I'm not going to talk about the video since it doesn't really seem like I need it anymore. So yeah, he clickbaited the video, and yeah, man, I mean, there's nothing else I could do about that other than, you know, just bad George. You're bad. Now, I want to go ahead and show you guys this video, okay? Take a good look at it.
Hold on. You ain't gonna ask me a question? Oh, damn.
He waits. He likes to wait until he's got the
Bro,
perfect
you
question.
tapped me in play mode and I broke my hand. What happens if I ask the wrong question and you punch me? I'm just
You
taking.
wear short shorts.
I'm telling you,
Jeez.
they're making a resurgence.
You know what? Hold on. I might as well just
I don't
pull
even
my
think.
shit up. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry.
Now you gotta say something. Man.
Listen, man, I read the Bible a lot when they talk about David and Goliath. I've never seen a giant, and so like I'm literally just I'm a little
You've
taken.
been sitting over here for 30 minutes and that's all you can freaking say? Fucking kidding me.
Now he's not gonna say
That's the
shit.
question. Jeez.
I'm just sitting.
Are you drunk?
Not yet. Is there
Okay,
any
thank
chance I can, for 2 seconds, put these up so I can hear what's going on?
Take them all. You don't have to ask
Why
the
you asking
producer.
Dylan?
Just take things off.
Okay.
You've been on this show.
I feel like I just fucked up everybody's vibe.
No, you
I'm
did.
so
They
sorry.
love it.
I'm like right next to them, but I can't hear anything in this. So I've been like
He's your
trying, and
partner
then
in
the
your
worst.
podcast?
Let's give George a round of applause. Real
the
quick.
new
Get him
guy.
back. Get him
Hold on.
back in the game.
He's your partner?
He's the newest.
You might want to give him his 2-week notice. That's the question, dude.
Honestly,
Jeez.
no, it's not how it works in this show. You don't even get a 2-week notice. You're fired, brother.
Speak.
No, come on, Georgie. The audience they love how awkward he is.
Nah, I just couldn't hear you guys. I'm the closest one in the room, but I could not hear a word, so I was just doing this.
So
the
now
whole
that
time.
you can hear,
Any question.
you have a question for Shaq.
Yeah, can we fucking move on so I can so I can jump in?
As you can see, like, George is just very uncomfortable. And the thing is that I've been in many roast battles, and I can tell you that when nobody's laughing at your jokes and everybody's just kind of looking at you as the joke, that is like the worst feeling ever. Not only that, I've been in that position because I used to be in another podcast too, back in like 2011. And I was the joke. They were always making fun of me, and like, dude, I had to like call it out because it's like, what the, like, why am I the joke? I don't understand, you know? And people weren't respecting me for that, which George is going to get into in a bit. But I want to go ahead and say, like, just look how uncomfortable George is. Like, George, he lost his rhythm. He doesn't know if he could take off his headphones or not. And then Mike is just looking at him like, bro, just take them off. Like, bro, like, he's literally disoriented because he doesn't know what to do. Like, he's the joke. He feels so many emotions at the moment. And it's crazy how Logan and Mike even could barely pick it up. Mike did barely pick it up towards the end when he started like encouraging the audience to clap for him. But to me, what I saw was that they were just pouncing on him, you know, and Shaq too. Shaq was like the worst of the mob because George, he was right there trying to like, you know, he gave that David and Goliath joke and Shaq just looked at him like, that's the best you got. Like, what the fuck do you want him to do? Like, you want him to be Dave Chappelle? I don't know, man. Like, the way Shaq came off in this clip, it kind of just like, it really put me off, man. It really did. And it made me just look at Shaq like, oh, you're one of those guys where, you know, when you're being roasted, you don't like to laugh at the other person's joke because you feel like you have to like be better than the other person. I really don't like people who roast like that. If I find out that there's anybody in my circle of friends that roast like that, I don't even roast with them. I tell them straight up like, bro, I'm not cool with you like that, because I already know where that leads. Because here's the thing, man. Once everybody is laughing, and no, and you don't feel like you're laughing anymore, that one person who feels like they have to one up you all the time, they're gonna take advantage of that, and then they're gonna put you in a position where your self-esteem is gonna drop because you're gonna feel like everybody's laughing at you, and nobody's gonna be able to read it because unfortunately people aren't exactly all that intelligent, especially like normies, you know. Intelligent people, I know they can see it, you know, like Mike. Eventually he'll see it, you know, but most people aren't like that. Which brings me back to this tweet. Mate, you sat there not speaking for 90% of the time. What are we missing? Your silence? You think I wanted to be quiet? You see what I mean? Like this guy, he probably lost his charger and has had his brain on low power mode. The reason why George was oftentimes silent is because of that. Because people like Shaq, people like Bobby Lee, and other people too. And I'm not saying that they're bad people. It's just the dynamics. How it unfolded. Like, why did they react like that? And towards George had no option than to just kind of remain quiet, because again, in my view, I felt like he was preserving whatever self-esteem he had on that show. Like, it's so fucked up, dude. Like, I don't know, man. Like just thinking about it more is just making me more pissed at Logan. I don't know why, because I'm going to show you a clip too where like it sounds to me. Actually, I'm going to show it to you guys right now. Where George, he's talking about how he already talked to the guys about the positioning of that podcast, and this is what they said.
Yeah. But it's I will admit, just for his audience, it's very hard to like engage with two people like this, especially when it's, and then you forget about this person. No. And I always tell the boys, but like we talked about it, and it's going to be even harder to have a guest all the way over here, and then all three of us are just staring
glazing.
At yeah. So I'm like the comedic relief sometimes if I'm funny.
What the fuck? You guys cared more about the guest than you guys cared about your own boy? That's what I'm hearing from George. You know, and the fact that George left and it took him that long to leave is crazy. And here's the thing, man, we still haven't heard Logan's side, but it's not like Logan's gonna tell the truth anyways, because when George called him out saying that instead of Jesus he needs therapy or something like that, Logan just kind of denied it.
Can you say something? I'm sure you sound pretty specific in your recollection of your memory right now. Can you give an example of
one that really hurt me? Is you told me I need a therapist because I believe in Jesus.
No,
that one hurt me.
No, I didn't. I said you need a therapist because Jesus isn't quite doing it for you, which is true.
No, you didn't. I don't want to stand down. No, you didn't.
It's going to be more of a he said, she said. But here's the thing, though. One thing that I love to tell people is follow the trail. You can follow the trail and you can see what George is talking about. I can see it. Logan, I don't know what the hell he's going to say, but I probably won't be able to see anything because there's no trail to what the fuck he's going to say. I can see George's trail, though. And I can tell you guys that being in that position, I can see George's pain, man. I don't know, dude. Perhaps I'm just looking too into it, but that's the impression that I'm leaving with, okay? I'm not saying that Logan's a bad guy in any way, but I mean, it's kind of hard to have any other impression when you look at those videos, those clips. I saw the whole Bobby Lee episode, and I could tell you guys, man, like it was pretty bad. George felt like he was isolated. All in all, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to anybody who was defending George in that video with Shaq. Because if you go to the comment section, you will see that there's people there who are actually defending George. Don't get me wrong, George is full of mistakes too as well. And so is Logan. But damn, man, like, come on, like that's totally unacceptable. Now, this is going to be the last clip that I want to go and talk about, okay? Oh, thank God we're almost done with this video.
Would you have any advice for working with your friends?
Yes, I do. I have a new one. Don't be scared of standing up for yourself. Because I think once you let people take advantage of your kindness, it becomes a pattern, and that pattern like grows. And then so if I let you disrespect me, then now it's going to be funny for you to disrespect me. And now the guest is going to disrespect me. And now so-and-so is going to disrespect me. And in my mind, I'm like, if I'm sitting here trying to get you guys to go to a different level, to build you, to help you grow, if I'm not getting that same love, then are we friends? Are we friends? Because I'm cool to work with friends, but don't belittle me. Mm-hmm. Don't take what my parents sacrificed their life to get me to where I'm at and make it a joke. Don't cut things out to make me look bad.
I really love the ending of that clip, man. It's beautiful. But I agree with him to a certain extent, okay? Even if you do confront these people, for some reason, they just don't grasp it. They really feel like they're not doing anything wrong. And in Logan's case, he might really feel like he's not doing anything wrong. Like he doesn't really believe in that third chair. He thinks that third chair is fine. The thing is that even when you do talk to these people, they don't understand, and they never will. And the thing is that they will continue that behavior. I already experienced it twice on the podcast and when I was working with with a couple big YouTubers. Bro, like I can tell you, like when I confronted them both, they didn't even take it lightly. And for the YouTubers, they actually considered it, but like it came with a bunch of like conditions. Like, all right, well, I'm not gonna be able to treat you like a human anymore. It's just gonna be robotic. At least he put in the effort. But when I was working on that podcast with that friend, like I told him about it and he still was doing it. So oftentimes, man, like these people won't understand. It's best just to get away from these people and just do your own thing. Otherwise, man, like you're gonna lose your self-esteem. Or like how George puts it, every effort that your parents put into creating you, making sure that you have a successful future, all of it will just dissipate if you allow these people to just conquer your landscape. Don't let them, man. I understand it's very difficult to leave sometimes, but I left both times. Well, actually the first time I didn't leave, they kicked me out because I wasn't respected like that anymore. They were going on like, there was this guy who came to the podcast, right? And the thing is that he was a vampire hunter or a ghost hunter or whatever the case is. They went to go film. They were going to go film and they invited the entire podcast to go. I didn't go. Do you know why? Because I wasn't respected. Everybody else went except me because I had confronted them about how I felt and that created tension. So they didn't want me around anymore. Can you fucking believe that shit? Like, I'm telling you, get away from these people. That's like the best thing you can do, man. Like, honestly, dude, like you end up walking away even worse when you confront them. I've learned my lesson and I don't even stick around anymore. I just leave. I'm just like, I'm not gonna fucking deal with this shit. And I'm proud of it. Never look back. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to just show you guys that clip because yeah, confronting people doesn't always work. I feel like my success rate when it comes to confronting people, and I try my best to be as amicable as possible, is very low. 2 times I've had people just confront me whenever I confront them and nothing changes. Only for those big YouTubers, it did change, but there was terms and conditions that I did not agree with. This ain't Apple. I'm not going to agree to anything. So I just left. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and leave you guys with that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. That's all I got for you guys. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned something today.